We need a tool that sort of helps frame that and simplifies that enormous, like cosmic, galactic challenges that we face as society. My name is Josh Trott. I'm the director here at D Acres Permaculture Farm in Dorchester, New Hampshire.
My name is Lucas Rathgeb, and I'm a full-time intern for the 2019 summer term here at the farm.
My name is Karen Gainey, and I have a small permaculture business called Permaculture Solutions.
My name's Elizabeth Cadle at the Center for Transformational Practice.
Permaculture kind of to me is both like a methodology and a practice of maximizing symbiotic relationships kind of between and among things.
Permaculture to me means getting around the problems that we face and trying to holistically develop a solution.
I would see it as a kind of return to nature in the way we do agriculture.
We're like looking at like how parts of the whole are all integrating to benefit the whole.
Three pretty simple doctrines like earth care, people care, fair share.
In the people care ethic, we're looking at caring for the people that are part of the natural systems, and then having those natural systems also sustain people. And earth care is just kind of this idea that we need to care for the earth, like the earth sustains us. But then the last ethic is fair share, but also known as future share. We're just making sure that there's enough clean resources and viable options and access to growing food for future generations, and also making sure that we're being fair and equitable.
Permaculture's first principle is to observe and then interact. So that often starts with observing yourself.
That's sort of how permaculture works. You go through this observation phase, this site analyses, and then you go out and try to test theories. And that's what we do here at D Acres.
Another principle of permaculture is to really honor diversity, to focus on building a relationship with the land.
That permaculture ethic where it takes us back to the mimicry of nature and the understanding of the natural systems that would really help us at this juncture in humanity.
One of the things that we apply in permaculture is we don't do just like one thing for one purpose. We do like one thing that meets the needs of many things.
In permaculture terms, it's called stacking the functions.
I don't plant any plant that doesn't have at least 3 to 5 functions, sometimes more. So it has to be building soil, bringing pollinators, being medicinal, edible, and also beauty is an important function. When we plant a tree, for instance, we want to think about all of the things that that tree needs to be really vital and healthy. We do that by way of planting plants around the tree. It's called a guild or a polyculture. And so when we diversify a system and are able to build a healthy food system from the soil up, we're kind of building a health and also a resilience into that system.
The learning curve about changing our aesthetic from food, meaning greens that you buy at the grocery store, to things that are already growing here, things that people would typically consider weeds. So instead of removing things to then grow new things, we're allowing the nutrients that are already there in the grasses and composting them in place and then building up from there.
And so in permaculture we talk about forest gardening. And it doesn't always mean growing food in the forest, but it means growing like a forest.
I mean, the organic farm is already pretty good in the ways that it goes about things, but we still do use a lot of plastic row covers and things. I see this garden kind of as a way to sort of heal that divide in the same way we're kind of healing the divide between humans and nature.
But permaculture is definitely a tool in the big toolkit of societal change.
Framing it and saying like every problem provides this opportunity, it can basically have a lot of nutrient-dense food to feed a lot of people.
What I love about permaculture is there's sort of a phrase, the challenge is also the solution, or the problem is also the solution.
I think part of the work that I do is educating people on this framework and getting them inspired to say, you know, how do we shift from, for instance, despair into empowerment? Once people can kind of like plug into something that's inspiring, that has solutions, you know, that energy feeds into itself.
I want to grow plants in dirt.
Because that's just an amazing feeling.